Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host, and today's episode is on highest timeline shift. Now, we will talk about how we actually shift ourselves onto higher timelines, and also I want to explain what timelines really are, because there seem to be some confusions and misunderstandings. But before we dive in, hello, gorgeous goddess. How's it going? I hope you are breathing and feeling and are staying in your feminine energy and out of the overthinking and all of the externalizing. And you're really honing in on the depth and the wisdom of your feminine energy, because it has everything to do with highest timeline potential. Shifting onto the highest timeline. Well, let's just dive in, shall we? So to shift onto the highest timeline, let me say, it's nothing external. The higher timeline is not a different dimension. The higher timeline is not a destination, a beautiful vacation spot. The highest timeline is not a bank account or a house or a car. The highest timeline has nothing to do with the external. The highest timeline is something that you have full control of on the inside. As a matter of fact, you can shift timelines, many different timelines throughout the day, just by the way you're thinking, just by the way you're choosing. We'll get to that. So timelines have nothing to do with the external. They're not external destinations. Highest timelines are something that is up to you. It is an inside job. Timelines are very much, when we talk about raising your vibration, right? When we talk about raising your frequency, when we're talking about higher consciousness, when we're talking about goddess embodiment. Everything has to do with how you are choosing for yourself, how you are thinking, how you are operating in your life and in the world. So let's go ahead, and from here, let's dive into timelines as a concept, right? So timelines, what it really means, right? So many people now are talking about quantum jumping. And again, it's not something that is an external destination. No, it's the same thing. Shifting a timeline, quantum jumping is a bigger gap in between timelines. And it has everything to do with how you feel about yourself, how much you are in your self-love, how much you are in your self-care. It has everything to do with how you are processing your emotions. It has everything to do with how you are believing that it's possible. The things that are your goals, your mission, your vision, right? Everything that you're wanting or seeing or imagining for your new earth reality, that's all really high timelines, right? When we're really looking at potential, how modern science, such as quantum physics, talks about the field of infinite possibility. So when you are in your feminine energy, you are in the field of infinite possibilities. And when you are in the field of infinite possibilities, all of a sudden, things seem within reach, things seem possible, right? You able to see yourself in that vision for yourself, for your new earth, highest timeline experience, whether it is you speaking in front of people, whether it is you becoming a mom, whether it's you having your own store, right? It doesn't matter. It's different for everybody. And that's beautiful. So don't compare. Don't compare your new earth vision. Don't compare. However, what sets it apart is that this is not ego driven any longer. Because the new earth manifestation, the new earth vision has everything to do with you in your soul, you coming from your soul. Not from the head, not from the ego. Oh, I want that because that makes you feel better than, or that makes you feel more important or smarter or richer or of a higher status, right? That's always an indication for that's ego. High frequency, high timeline, new earth can only be achieved when it's a pure intention, a pure calling, a pure heart's desire that really truly is a part of your soul's path. And there are so many great slogans on social media right now. So one of them is, it's Delulu is the Salulu. So delusion is the solution, right? And there's much truth to that, I have to say. As funny as it is, it actually is very true, because that which appears to many as delusion will become reality. But there is still a big gap from the ultimate vision, the ultimate goal of your mission, of your soul's desire for yourself, or what you feel that you are here to do, what it is that you feel that you're called to participate in this life, and the road to getting there, right? Because it's now you're on this timeline, and your highest timeline is up here or even higher. But remember, it's not outside of you. So we want to bring it into the here and now. Also, very important, there is always higher to go. There is always more to grow into. There's always greater and bigger expansion possible, because we're now are working with the field of infinite possibilities. Let's never forget the field of infinite possibilities. That is the feminine energy. The feminine energy puts you right into the cosmos. And working with the highest frequencies and higher dimensions. And again, it's not about leaving the body. It's not about having to get somewhere and reaching up in terms of up here. No, it's about in. It's about in. The deeper you go within, the greater your expansion. Because the deeper you go within, the more you get to know yourself. The deeper you go within, the greater your understanding of yourself in terms of energies and patterns and, you know, old voices from childhood, maybe your parents' voices, or maybe still old coping mechanisms because you didn't get what you needed from that one parent, and that had you develop coping mechanisms, for example, right? So the deeper we go into ourselves, the more we can clear, the more we can learn, the more we can recognize and discern between the old energies. And the more that we can discern between the old energies and the old patterns and everything that is not authentically in alignment with what we now have a vision for, this is now where actually this work comes in. So coming back to the quantum leaping, the shifting to higher timelines. And this, of course, takes into consideration that we are multifaceted and deeply, deeply layered, right? So deeply layered and somebody has a vision. I have a vision. I have a vision for my new earth. And so am I there? Am I living in it? Am I seeing it? Am I feeling it? Yes. Is it an earthly experience yet? No. No, because it is still a long road. It's a journey. It's a journey into the fulfillment of this mission, of this vision. It's going to be a long life, a long journey into that new earth that I am here to create. Because I am here to create for this entire world. Of course, it starts with myself. Of course, it starts with me staying so clear in terms of not allowing negative thoughts, any old energies that come up, immediately get to them, stay in front of them, nip them in the bud, clear them, process them, heal whatever comes up, right? The more, then of course, I also take the steps, right? Because it's not just the vision. It's not just me keeping myself clear and flowing in my feminine energy. I also have to take the steps to the manifestation, such as this podcast, such as creating a program, such as, right, working, doing, taking action, yes? And so you see, when we say quantum leaping, how to quantum leap to your highest timeline, it's a bit of a setup, because nobody can jump from 0 to 100 overnight and then stay there. Because not only does it take the inner alignment, it also takes the choices, the actions, the earthly actions, right, to get there. And so a quantum leap is the possibility into that potential. Understanding that it's possible, believing in it, knowing that you feel it within your being, you feel it within your soul, you feel it within your heart, you feel it within your gut, right? You feel it, you just know that's what you're here to do. And then you have to hold the vision on your way to that manifestation. And that's the journey, right? That is the journey at large. But let's go ahead and let's come back to you in the here and in the now. Because to shift onto the highest timeline, remember, there is always a higher timeline. Because right now, as this earth is ascending, we are ascending, you are ascending. You're listening to this video, you are ascending. Otherwise, this language, this vibration wouldn't even resonate with you. And so this ascension process cannot be rushed. You can never push the river. It is a process that requires you to breathe. And it's a process that requires you to understand that you are sacred, right? You in your goddess are sacred. Because what is that highest potential really, when it boils down to what is that highest timeline? What is that new earth vision for yourself? It's you being in your goddess. It's you being in your light. It's you being in your divinity. It's you being so deeply seated in your feminine energy that you know you are source. You know you are creator, right? So it's getting you into creator mode. And the beautiful thing about this new earth process and actually playing in this field of infinite possibilities is that it has everything to do with your vibration. It has everything to do with your choices. It has everything to do with how you are living your life, how authentic you are being with yourself, how authentic you are being with the world, how much you are allowing for fear to stop you, or how much you are processing it and then moving forward. Right? It has everything to do with how much you're judging, still judging yourself or judging others, or staying in your feminine energy and not judging and letting everybody do what they need to do, letting every soul be on the journey, on the path that they're on. Right? So you understanding that you are creator incarnate, you understanding that you are infinite divine goddess, divine light, stardust. Understanding everything here is just energy. And the more that you are trusting your timing, trusting your flow, trusting your guidance, trusting your soul's communication, trusting the co-creation with the light, the more that you're staying in that consciousness, you are already in that higher vibration. You are already on that highest timeline. You are already in that new earth. But you still need to continue to take action. You still need to continue to go about your manifestations. And when you are in that consciousness of the new earth, of who you really are, then you don't play. You don't play. You don't play with your heart. You don't play with your energy. You don't play with your body. You don't play with your light. You don't play with your self-respect. You don't play with your worth. You don't play with your time. You don't play. Now, this doesn't mean you don't have fun. Two completely different stories, right? You don't play means you don't allow for anybody or anything to siphon your energy. You don't allow for anybody or anything to be disrespectful, disregarding, none of that. None of that. That is not a part of the new earth reality. It doesn't mean you don't see it. It doesn't mean it doesn't still happen. Of course it happens. But you also don't play with ego. Right? This is where it comes back to your choice, you choosing yourself, you choosing for your light, you choosing for your soul, you choosing for your worth, you choosing for your mission, you choosing for your highest timeline means you don't allow your ego, you don't play ego games any longer. And when those thoughts come in, because they do, you'll recognize them. And I had somebody ask a question if I would talk about shadow work. And I can talk about shadow work another time, but there are so many layers to shadow work. There are so many levels to shadow work. It's not just one episode. So when I'm talking about ego, that's shadow work too. That's another level of shadow work, to be so clear that you don't play with the victim mentality, with the, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I'm not tall enough. Oh, I don't have the funds. No, you don't play like that. Right? You also don't play with distraction. You also don't play with anything that is going to lower your vibration. And so let me get a little bit more deeply into that, because again, it doesn't mean you can't have fun. Because there's a time and a place to go out and have a cocktail. There's a time and a place to go out and go dancing. I love to go dancing all night. I just can't do it all the time, because I do know that, I need my energy to, record videos the next day, or so I have to plan it. It doesn't mean you can't go out on dates. Just don't make it a desperation, right? I personally find dating apps to be such an energy. I've never myself ever been on a dating app, nor will I ever go on a dating app. It's just such it's such an old paradigm, masculine energy, low vibing way of going about it. When we know being in a new earth, when we know being in our alignment, it's all about being that vibration, and that vibration is irresistible. I was just talking to a client today, and she's now realizing and seeing and noticing for herself how she has become irresistible. When your energy leads, when your vibration is so high, you don't need to be on a dating app any longer. You don't need to waste your energy and time. You don't need to just, try and see so many people. That's lowering your vibration. That's putting you right into the masculine energy. It's putting you right into a place of desperation and need, because you're looking for it. When in truth, by you being in your feminine energy, where you being in your highest vibrational alignment, you know that the right soul at the right time will show up in your life. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Of course, you've got to leave the house, right? Got to leave the house, got to look nice, right? And feel feminine. And then your higher self and their higher self are going to orchestrate it. So you see, it's not just about anybody. It's not just about any soul. It's about the highest vibrational match. It's not about being hyper social and being out there all the time. No, it's about choosing to be in your alignment, so you know which occasion you attend, or when you want to go out with a friend, or when you want to go to a museum, or when you want to go for the hike. So it's about you being selective. Anything goes. You can have so much fun, but it has to be authentic and no more from the ego-driven need, or your friends telling you, you should, you should, you should. Do not let anybody should all over you, and don't should over all over yourself, right? So these are just some quick reminders as to what you need to become very aware of within yourself, because small choices throughout the day can actually level you up, and you maintain a higher timeline within yourself, which means you're keeping yourself in alignment, you're keeping yourself in your feminine energy, you're staying conscious, you're staying present, you're in your breath. Or you could drop timelines, you could drop your vibration as the day goes on. If you catch a negative vibe, if you catch a negative, fearful vibe, and you follow that, and you indulge that, and you start thinking, oh yeah, I don't know, oh, right? And all of a sudden it becomes you, and all of a sudden you're believing those thoughts, and all of a sudden you're indulging those thoughts. that is going to lower your vibration and therefore put you onto a lower timeline. Makes sense? Yes? Good. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you have any questions in and around all this. Because from here, I want to take it to the next level. And this is also something that came up in a session with somebody today. So there's oftentimes this misunderstanding about emotions and feeling, and so many people out there are talking about, oh, don't attract that. I don't want to feel that, so I won't attract that. Right? So that's false. Shoo, 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 shoo. Let's come at it from this way. Your soul is very vast, and your soul has had so many lifetimes. You have had so many lifetimes, right, on this earth plane. Now, all of these lives, when we say past lives, we say it because it seems to be in the past, but really it's all happening all at the same time, because there is no such thing as time, and there is no such thing as linear. It is just what our small little human brains need to think in order for it to make sense. But when you come into the feminine energy and you open into the field of possibilities, you're able to access. You're able to access all of the other lifetimes and all of the potential higher timelines all at the same time. I hope you're breathing. Now, I want to talk about the other lives, because we're ascending, and ascension means you have to clear the energies. You have to clear all of the old energies, whether it was victimization, whether it was death because of health issues, whether it was starvation or scarcity, right? It's lifetimes have been rough. And so there's a lot of energy in us, in our souls, that's from these other traumatic lifetimes. And so these energies have to come up, because you're not just ascending by being in this incarnation only. You can only ascend, and you can really only reach your highest timeline and the new earth consciousness when you're willing. There is no perfection, there is no end. Again, don't think linearly from the masculine energy. Stay present and willing. Stay present and willing to feel the energies that come up, because ascension will make you purge. And this purging can sometimes be mentally. All of a sudden, old thought patterns come back up, and you're like, wow, that's odd. I haven't thought it that way in a long time. And that can be, right? That can be the case. And in that event, you just let those thoughts go. Just because thoughts show up in your mind space doesn't mean you engage them. So the purging can also be physically. People can have complications coming up, right? It's very much a part of the purging process. So it's not just the surface things of feeling fatigued or not sleeping well or having funny food cravings. No, some people go through some really heavy physical challenges for a while, because there is so much physical pain, physical trauma, physical illness from so many other lifetimes that's clearing through this body. So it's not an easy process. Now, what I was talking about was the emotional aspect, because whether you were a queen or a beggar, the lifetimes weren't easy. As a queen, you probably had somebody wanting your throne, and as a beggar, you were probably abused. So there's a lot of emotional energy, that is constantly clearing. It comes in waves throughout the day, and maybe you get a day break, but then something more comes up. And that's an ongoing part of the ascension journey. It just gets easier. It just gets easier, but never, ever, ever think you're ever done, because your soul is incredibly vast. Your soul is so huge, and all of your soul is clearing through this ascension process. And the more that you choose to feel it, and this is where it's very interesting and also important, so breathe. You have to feel it without any thoughts attaching. Because when you attach the thoughts, your ego is going to want to attach it to the certain situation in your life. Your ego is always going to want to attach a story. Any discomfort, your ego is going to want to blame it on the most recent drama in your life, or the most recent heartbreak of your life, or the most recent disappointment of your life. Yeah, your ego is always going to have to blame whatever that discomfort is onto the here and now. That's when you stuff it down. When you start thinking about, oh, I'm feeling this way, it must be because of this situation. It must be because of this person. And when you do that and you buy into the illusion of your ego, when you buy into this, old paradigm way of allowing your ego to run the show, that's when you're not only reinforcing the old pattern, you're also stuffing the emotion back down, and you're lowering your vibration. And now you're running the risk of manifesting negatively. Versus staying in that new earth consciousness, staying in your soul, in your divine alignment, in your goddess consciousness, and reminding yourself, oh, right, I'm purging, I'm feeling discomfort. That means no thoughts, don't think. You just breathe and feel. You give your attention to this process of clearing yourself, clearing your soul, freeing yourself from all of these old energies that have nothing to do with this life. So when you can stay clear of mind to any trigger, to any emotion, to any old way of coping, you are, even though you're feeling it, even though you're feeling maybe pain, even though you may be feeling heartache, even though you may be feeling fear, even though you may be feeling rage, whatever it is, as long as you're not thinking into it, but you're really letting it move through, you're just breathing with it, savoring it. If you need to, punch a pillow, jump up and down if you need to help it move through your body. But in essence, when you can actually stay with the awareness of that, oh, this is just emotional energy. I'm not going to think. No thoughts. Just allow yourself and remind yourself, oh, I'm just purging. Okay, great. What do? That's right. Don't think, breathe and feel. Don't think, breathe and feel. Don't think, breathe and feel. And you just allow yourself to sit with it. You allow yourself to breathe with it. You allow yourself to just feel it, let it pass through. Don't hold on to it. Just let it happen. And that is going to raise your vibration. Even though you're dealing with old energy, even though you are processing old frequency, you're raising your vibration. You know why? Because you're staying conscious, because you're staying conscious of the truth of what is happening. You are in alignment with your soul. You're staying aligned with that. Oh, I'm healing. Oh, I'm processing. Oh, I'm purging. So I breathe and I feel. I don't think into it. I don't make it my story or alignment in this here and now. Right? Versus letting your ego tie all of the life events into the discomfort. Then you're lowering your vibration. So you need to understand that every choice puts you either onto a higher timeline or a lower timeline. And it has everything to do with you not playing. You don't play with your light. You don't do ego any longer. You don't spread yourself thin because somebody tells you you should put yourself out there. You have to stay in alignment with the truth of the new earth. You don't need to date 1,000 souls to see who it might be. That's so old paradigm. No, you stay in your vibration of light and worth and love and grace and authentic empowerment, knowing that the right soul for you will be brought into a meeting point, right? It'll be you guys meeting because your higher self and their higher self orchestrates this stuff, right? We're not in that low density any longer. We're operating on much higher wavelengths of thinking. We're operating on much higher wavelengths of trusting and believing and knowing and really being that high vibrational creator, so that you don't have to distract yourself, right? You can stay very streamlined. You can stay very precise. You can stay very clear. And you'll feel when it's your time to go. You'll feel when it's your time to say yes to an invitation. You'll feel when it's time for you to, live a little. And it's going to be so much more powerful because not only have you held your vibration, but you've kept leveling up. And you are now in that new earth consciousness manifestation that is happening by you. The choices you're making for yourself, for your energy levels, for your light, for your worth. Understanding that you take the actions that you feel called to taking, not from your ego, not because other people suggested it, but because you're listening to yourself, you're listening to your intuition, you're listening to your inner wisdom and knowing. And you navigate, right? You navigate your way through the choices of life. Life is a grand buffet of choices. But not every choice serves your light. Not every choice serves your new earth. Not every choice serves your vibration. And again, it's also a matter of timing. Sometimes going out and dancing all night is going to be great for your vibration because it's just another level of joy. But if you do it too much, it'll lower your vibration because it's not from the right place. It's not from the right energy. It's to get something, to need something externally. Right? So to get very attuned to yourself, understanding that your highest timeline shift is already within you. Your highest timeline shift happens on a day-to-day basis. Your highest timeline shift is not an external destination, but it is you knowing what serves you and what doesn't, what is supportive of you and what isn't. And the more that you stay inside in your feminine energy, listening, feeling, knowing your way, your timing, your actions, your choices, you will get onto your highest timeline. Not my highest timeline, not Sally's highest timeline or Tom's highest timeline. No, your highest timeline. Because the soul that you are, with the blueprint that you came in with, you have your own light codes. And that is another reason why at some point you can't just date anybody. Right? It's now soul connections, light codes, soul contracts coming majorly into play as we're working and operating from these much higher frequencies. And for the goddess that was asking me in regard to Kundalini awakening, yes. And I responded to you in the message, but yes, absolutely. You know, right now it's all so high vibrationally orchestrated, these encounters that we're having with other souls. And yes, you meeting that man that just activated you to the depth of your being. Absolutely. That was planned. That was contracted. That was you and him, the souls that you really are before incarnating, signing a contract saying, okay, that's when we will connect and that's when we will activate each other to the soul level. And then the two of you will get to go onto your highest timeline together because again, it's contracted and you guys are matched in your blueprint, in your light codes, right? In your soul to then go onto that highest timeline together. Again, it's not my timeline. It's your path to your fulfillment, to your mission. Yes. So everybody stay very aware of, don't let the ego-based, low vibing, old paradigm ways pull you into the shoulds, pull you into the, oh, but I guess I should, or, well, everybody's telling me I should. No. This is a very important time for you to practice staying very attuned to yourself, staying true to your truth, calm, peaceful in your feminine energy, and you listen to yourself. Don't listen to other people. They don't know your soul. They don't know your path. They don't know your contracts. They don't know your mission. They don't know who you are here to be. And it's not that they don't mean well. Surely they mean well. But if you're still here and if you're still listening to this video right now, you're already on a whole nother level. And it sometimes can feel a little lonely, but it's also very exciting. And it's also incredibly strengthening. And it's going to be really, really awesome. Very, very, very quickly. The more that you trust yourself, the more that you flow in yourself, you become such a magnet. You become, you just need to walk through a space and like people are drawn to you just because of your frequency, just because of your vibration. Like my client so successfully acknowledged to herself that her energy has become irresistible. Yay! That's exactly it. So, yes, so stay very attuned to yourself, choose for yourself, choose for your peace, choose for your worth, choose for your light, choose for yourself. And know that that is already you being in the new earth. That's you already being on your highest timeline. And then from there, the only way is up. Good. Thank you for your time, for your energy, your presence. Please keep asking questions, keep asking and leaving comments as to what you want me to talk about. And I will make a follow-up video in regard to shadow work, but like I've said, it's very, very, very layered, right? There are so many aspects to shadow work. Ego, right? It ties into every facet of self, every facet of life. And it's not just ego, right? It's also other things. And I'll get to that at some point. But for now, I am thanking you for your time and your energy and your presence. And I'm sending love and light blessings to you and yours. Hugs and kisses. Mwah. Ciao for now.